We are a transformative theater company, and we believe that theater is a pathway to justice. And what I mean by that is every week, Meta Theater goes into the prison, mainly Etna Man Correctional Facility for Women in New Jersey. We go there every week, and we work with the female inmates on writing and performance.
Social justice and inequality are very important to me for many reasons. I think we all don't live in one box. You know, we're all connected about race and class, gender, and sexual orientation. And so for me, as a white, middle-class, cisgendered woman, heterosexual, I've lived in all the dominant cultures that have historically been in the United States, and that's been a problem. I've had to really relearn how to look at my privileges, and doing social justice work helps me do that personally. And then at the same time, it's really important for me to work with larger systems like the criminal justice system, education. We can think of many different systems that we interact with on a daily basis, and to look at those laws and policies and see if they're really benefiting everyone, or are they only benefiting a certain group. And so in my experience, I've seen through my own family and living, throughout the United States and working as a social worker, that it's very uneven. And I really want to work in social justice to dismantle white privilege and to really dismantle the racial wealth gap that goes on.
And how that violence can escalate from being a racial joke, and that racial joke can escalate into something violent, okay? And many times people will say, oh, you're just being oversensitive, oh, it's just a joke. But in fact, it's not, because that can end up causing someone to be murdered or severely harmed.
When I think about who is heard the most and who is heard the least in the media, I think traditionally who is heard the most in the media are cisgender straight white men. And I think that that's just a construct of the way that our nation was constructed and created, and even before that. It's very Eurocentric based. I think when I consider who is maybe heard the least in the media, I would say it's our LGBTQ plus friends of color. And I think that's because, one, we tend to put people in certain categories. You're either a part of the Black community, or you're a part of the LGBTQ community, or you're a part of the Latinx community. And I think that people fail to understand that there's intersections. There are many people who are part of all three, and you could go on and on listing all the different types of intersections there are and the communities that they create. I think also when you're saying the voices that are heard the most and heard the least, I want to take a moment to recognize who's writing the stories, who's telling the stories. And so even when you see characters or subject matter of people of color who are LGBTQ, I think it's a really beautiful thing that we're at a time now where they're getting to tell their own stories, but they're just at the beginning of that. That wasn't always the case. And I think a lot of times when you look at the media, you're seeing the story told from, again, that traditional straight white male perspective. And it's nice to see that this changing, that there are more voices coming in, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that.
Social justice movement.
So what advice I can give to young people in terms of getting involved with social justice? I would say get involved with as many anti-racism groups as possible, organizations, again, that are like-minded. Create your own racist group here on campus. Just get involved more. speak out more. Let your voices be heard. And if you see anything on campus that is racist, then it needs to be reported. And better still, get those students together who are feeling get those students together who are racist. Get them in the classroom. Get them to talk to other students who are fighting against racism. Find out what their thoughts are. Why are they thinking this way? And then find ways in terms of using the transformative justice tool and the continuum of violence tool, and let them see how this can help stop the violence.